Hello, everyone. I wish I could play the ukulele. It would be nice. Hello, everyone. Okay, welcome to one more episode of Talking Times, guys. I confess that I talking to our guest here, Nawan Morais, before we enter live. I got a bit nostalgic. I miss the beach, the atmosphere, the people, the party, the relaxing moments we have there. And this is one thing that we're going to chat about today. We're going to talk a lot about Caiçara culture too, right after our podcast intro. Hello, Noah. Welcome, man.
Hello, Mike. Hello, everybody who's watching. Shout out. Mhm.
Oh, I'm very happy, man, that I remember to mute my phone. In these last episodes, hello everyone. Then my phone here, hello everyone. Damn. But okay, today you see I did it perfectly. Now, before we start, please introduce yourself to our listeners and
Uh,
viewers.
it's fine. Hello. My name is Nawan. I'm currently a teacher at times. I got this business English background, which I got from times actually. Uh, I'm a person who actually loves sports. I like playing volleyball, basketball. Really love music. These are some of the things you gotta know about me. If you like try to find me, I'm probably on the beach or playing some sport, on the court for sure. For sure.
Okay, and a lot of people are going to envy you now because you live at the place. So uh, we have to bear with us. Now, something that I normally ask the teachers that I talk to here is, what's your story? What happened to you that led you to this path, and how did you become an English teacher?
First, I didn't actually expect to become an English teacher. My mama, she's a teacher. She teach kids. And we always talk about like some of the professions I would like to work with. And I was always able to see how she was struggling with the students she had. Then we used to talk, and I was like, "No, I'm not becoming a teacher. Not really becoming a teacher." And that since I was a kid, and she was like, "You're gonna see, you're gonna see this. Some of your words gonna turn against you." And I became a teacher. Uh,
Should put like a spell, like a curse.
yes.
Oh, your words are gonna turn back at you.
Exactly, man. Exactly. This is something funny about. I was always like, nah, I'm not becoming a teacher. I can do anything, but I'm not becoming a teacher. And here I am at times. Here I am at
Yeah.
times.
You
I
should you should you should have been more specific. Maybe the thing was, I will never become an English teacher.
Yes, exactly, man. Exactly. I think this was actually the problem. I wasn't at a time. I started studying English because I would like to understand what I was listening into the songs that were bumping on my earphone at that time. I was trying to sing then, but I was just terrible. I could suddenly summon the demon in my room. I didn't want this to happen, so I started learning English.
Oh yeah, that's a
Uh,
good reference.
mhm, mhm.
Okay, and when you were studying English, was it easy for you? Was it enjoyable, or was like I struggled a lot to learn? It was natural. How was it when the periods when you were a student?
Man, it was. I will. I will say it was kind of hard, not because of the process of learning English, not because English is a hard language or anything like this. It was hard because of the type of environment in which I was inserted. The schools I've been through. I usually tell my students that the process for learning English, at least for me, would have been way easier if I got into times first.
Ah,
Really,
yeah, me
really,
too.
for sure. I didn't feel welcome into the places I was, man. So it was kind of hard for me at the beginning, but I always thought I would be able to do anything I wanted since I was dedicated, I go getter. Then that's it. That's it. That's what I can tell you about. It was difficult
Nice.
at first, not because of English, but because of the environment in which I was inserted.
No, and this is very interesting for to tell. I normally ask this too because a lot of the struggles that we had when we were students, and by the way, we have been students before we have become, teachers. That's a natural process, but this help us to develop a sort of empathy, when we are in classes. And I know that, by the way, there is Bruno Leonel. Hello, Bruno. He's here. And he was mentioning the pole position class, just passing to remind teacher now, work smart, stay sharp, earn
And
high.
they're high.
Yeah,
Oh, hi.
our another friend, Nigel. And you are the teacher responsible for teaching a few of these classes too, right?
Yes, yes, I am, man. I just love them. Those are one of my favorite classes. I can tell, man. I'm really
And
proud of teaching. Mhm.
when you are in class now, what are your favorite ways to approach students, or when you see somebody that is struggling, what do you like to do to make them feel comfortable and not, go through the same situations that you have been through as a student?
Man, I think that this background I had with the first schools I've been through, was something really, really important for me as a teacher because now I understand the struggles people can go through and how uncomfortable it might be. I don't want to kill the desire of the students to learn, man. I don't really want this. I don't want them to feel the same way I felt at that time. So I try to make them feel like the most comfortable possible, man, in order to turn the experience into something interesting for them. Studying English ain't gotta be something boring. It ain't really gotta be something boring. You might feel comfortable in the class. So we usually just talking as friends, and I might teach you some grammar things, but at the end of the day, we just in a simple conversation, So there's nothing to fear. That's my approach.
And a lot of students, they get demotivated and they, they lose an opportunity to use a lot of potential that they had. Like you said, you kept studying, you pushed forward, but you could have been one of those cases. Like now, you wouldn't be an English teacher today. You would be, I don't know, doing something else. So it's very important to pay attention in this and to have this kind of empathy with them. Um, have you ever had any class that you talked about the things we're going to talk today?
Man, no.
Okay, good.
Basically,
Good.
basically the schools thought before they were all like essential. So this subject was kind of common for people who actually live in the coast. So it might not be something as interesting as it is for people who actually come from different places from Brazil, just like the students we got here at times. So daily we talk to people that we wouldn't if it wasn't the internet. So yeah, that's something interesting to live this different experience. And there's not something
Yeah,
different for people who actually live here. So I've never talked about it before. Mhm.
yeah. The thing that I would do, if I were teaching a presidential class there, I would create thousands of excuses just to get the students. And we're gonna have an external class at the beach today. Let's just go there and have fun.
That's something really interesting about times, the external classes, because I've been trying to do them before, but I think I was too young to manage a class. I started teaching when I was 16, man. So imagine a
Oh,
bunch
no,
of
no,
a bunch of kids with another teenager
no.
on the street, on the beach, man, I would go crazy. I was already going crazy, and the students were in class. So imagine an outdoor class. Man, it would be a mess, and I wouldn't like to be responsible for someone dying.
For English class. All right, let's start going to that peak and dive. What could possibly
Ah,
go wrong in Recife? You know, because why not?
so
So,
man,
let's draw a timeline here. You mentioned before that you were not exactly a troublemaker as a kid, but the problem was the company. But you were at the same time a good student, right? So tell us a little bit about it now.
as I said, I always thought I would be able to do anything I was dedicated to, you know, and I really like to learn, man. I really like to learn. It doesn't need to be specifically about math, about Portuguese, about history. You just gotta be interesting and thought-provoking, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I was always that curious person in the school. I was just the same. I think that's why my teachers liked me, you know, because I was that student who was eager to learn. I was there to question things, you understand? It allowed me to create and strengthen bonds with my teachers and also with the rest of my class. You know, I was not the popular guy, but I was always walking around with troublemakers. You know,
They are the
so
fun ones to be around. Of course, depends on the level of
mhm.
troublemaking that they do. But it's fun, you know, to
Let's
be
be
around,
honest.
especially for a teenager. Yeah,
Let's be honest. We gotta get some fun too, man. We gotta get some fun.
yeah.
So yes, I was always around then. But I was always able to escape from the consequence of my troubles because I was friend with my teachers. It was something interesting about me, something interesting about. I I do not regret some of the things I did because they were not too risky, you know, but
Hmm.
there were things I was not supposed to do as a student for sure, man, for sure. Hmm.
Okay, we don't need to get into the specifics, but for example, uh, I can relate to that because I was not never the best student in the class. You know, I was not the all the way in the front, not all the way in the back. I was almost in the back, but on the side because I could dodge the paper balls and the. They used to do this thing with the that big pen. You know, they remove the inside, and then they would get like a piece of paper, and I don't know how to say zarabatana in English. Maybe it's like a pipe dart throwing pipe device, whatever. And it was like war in some of the classes, you know. And I remember that we used to skip class, like we would jump the school's wall and go to this park here in Campinas that is called Taquaral. It was like very close to the school, you know, to play soccer, you know. That was my bad behavior. I loved sports, so I used to do that. Have you ever done anything similar to this, you know?
Man, I actually did, you know. I did. Look, my school was like 10 minutes from the beach, you know.
Okay, 10 minutes
So,
from the beach. The
yes,
worst possible place to build a school.
exactly,
Okay,
man.
actually, okay, depends on the approach that you use there. Again, beach classes would be fun, but all right, go on.
So, skipping classes was actually something easy. All my group was actually active, and I think that's where my relationship with the sports come from, you know. we we were always like looking something to put our effort and energy on. So we at a time we were skipping classes to play volleyball on the beach. It was something
Nice.
frequent we did. For sure. We couldn't get like stopped in a place, man. I remember the day my teacher, my geography teacher, got into the class, and I was actually fighting with another student, and it was not
Like
that.
fight, like fist fighting.
Man, we were playing. It was not like an
Okay,
aggressive fight, you know. It was like, oh,
okay.
I'm stronger than you. I'm stronger
Ah,
than
okay.
you. So prove me, you know. So this
So it's like that.
this was the case, man. I was holding up on his back. He just got me this way and threw me all the way to the door, and I stopped at the foot of my teacher, man. Oh
Oh
God,
man.
it was not really interesting. Not really interesting. And
And she was like, "What
that's
the hell are you doing?" Oh, we're just playing here.
exactly, exactly. She called the director. We had to go to the direction room, And this was the moment we kind of felt okay, because as I said, our teachers, they knew me, they knew some of the students like that were with me. So they actually understood we were not doing anything wrong. We were just full of energy. And
Exactly.
the point is not we were like terrible kids, chaotic kids. We just wanted to have fun. You understand? So it was like,
Yeah.
yo, don't do it again. We will never do this type of thing again, and that's it. We will get back to the class. And I remember the day we had this type of conversation with the director. She was pretty close to us. And we used to take advantage from this. Please don't do this. Don't really do this. So there was this day we decided to go to the direction room just to play Minecraft. So let's get away from the class. We might cause some trouble. Get to the direction room. There we got like internet for free. So let's play some Minecraft together. This was what we did. This was the type of trouble we were into.
Yeah,
That's what
it's
I mean
fine,
with
man.
troublemaker.
And but I imagine you used to have good grades, right?
Oh yes, for sure. For sure, man.
Okay.
I was always good with exams. This is something good about me. I think I got a good memory for things I find interesting, and as I said, I was always eager to learn. So exams, they were not a problem. Not really. Not really.
Oh, that's nice. Okay. So this is the first hint you have today. If you wanna cause trouble in school, be a good student. You can get away easily.
Mhm.
You know.
Yes, exactly. Actually, nah, don't do this. Don't cause troubles. Your teachers, they
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
deserve it. I understand it because I'm a teacher
Ah,
now. Okay, they
yeah.
don't really
Okay, yeah,
deserve it. They don't
yeah.
really
All
deserve it.
right,
Mhm.
all right. And now what? You mentioned something about being interested in many things. Tell us about the first time you, because now you enjoy the beach. You told me about surf classes, the beach sports that you do there. We talked a little bit about the things that we can do there. But we share another thing common. Our first time at the beach was not like rainbows and flowers. Was quite the opposite, right?
Really, not really, man. It was the opposite for sure. The first day I got to Guarujá, it was raining a lot. We were going through tough times. There is this opportunity in which the weather gets dangerous to everyone. So we couldn't go outside easily. And as I said, I was this Chucky kid, so I reunited a couple cousins, and we went out. Our family didn't even know that. We went to the beach. When I got there, it was not like the things I imagined because it was raining, cold. The shore it was extremely wet, so we couldn't feel the sand the way it is usually. I just got close to the water, took a look at it, and got disappointed. I came back home.
And
So
I cried in the rain like Vegeta. You know, like, are you fine?
yes,
No, it's okay. It's okay. You were 13 years old, right?
yes, I was turning 13 at that time. I was
Mhm.
12 years old. For sure.
Okay.
hmm
And okay, you mentioned that it was the first time in Guarujá. So where were you born and where were you originally from?
I'm from Francinopolis, Piauí.
Okay.
This is
No
actually
beaches there, right?
no, man, not really. Really distant from the beach, actually. Really, really distant from the beach. It is a small city. When I mean small, like extremely small, we didn't even have like ice cream. We couldn't get ice cream because there was not ice cream shop at that place, man. So this is what I mean. No cinema, anything to do. If you wanted to do anything, this would probably something improvised, like playing football, playing soccer on the street with your
Okay.
friends. This was the type of thing I was into. Kites. I learned how to make my own kites at the time. It was
Nice.
something really funny. So everything you actually wanted to do, you had to craft. So
Mm.
extremely different from the place where I'm at right now. Whole
But
different
thi-
culture.
this, but this is very interesting because uh, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but the impression that I have is part of it is kind of getting lost, you know. For example, there used to be a thing that parents, the father would help the kids to create the go car, you know, and you get the pieces of junk and scrap. You go to a scrap yard and get pieces of stuff, and then you create the go kart. I remember the movie Batutinhas now, you know, and then you would like check a street close to your house, go there, and get hurt, and then you will redo and do it all over again, like you said, craft your own kite. It makes creative people, sometime after that. Nowadays everything maybe is too practical, but like you said, you had to make real friends, to do sports together, because no Wi-Fi, no internet, and it makes you more social in a way, doesn't it?
Yes, yes, it surely does. I got marks all over my body, man, from my childhood. Hmm.
Me too. And when you moved to Guarujá, was it hard to make friends now? Because this maybe could be we will chat a little bit about Caiçara culture and culture shock in general. So okay, you you have come from a small city, you had your group of friends, and you moved to the coast, to a coast city. What were the first differences that you noticed there?
First, we gotta talk about the fact that I was not ready to move, man. I came to Guarujá just to, spend some time. I was on vacation.
Ah, okay.
I was on vacation. My mom was like, "Yo, let's visit the family. Yeah, let's do it." When we got here, my mama got passionate and like, "Yo, let's just say." I was like, uh, "What do you mean by stay? We gonna leave our house, our family behind, everything we built together. Like, but this city, I really loved Guarujá. But when I
Oh,
first thought
that's
about like
nice.
leaving the place I was born, it was not something interesting, man. So I was not really ready. I think it shaped my personality because at that time I became way more intrusive. As I said, it is a whole different culture, man. Whole different culture. I mean, the way you might approach people, the way you just like get the things done, man. The school, it was something extremely new to me. And I suddenly had to adapt to this for a longer time because I didn't know when I would get back to the place where I was born. So it was hard for me to get to know the people in my school, for example, because I was always the new guy that came from Northeast. People would like
Hmm.
approach me like, "Oh, let's talk. Yes, let's talk. Oh, I can see you do not come from here because of your accent. Where you from?" And I was like, "Oh, I come from Fresnópolis, Piauí. That's the place I came from." So it was always obvious that I was apart from the culture in which I was inserted at the time because I didn't feel welcome. I didn't feel like it was my home, because I
Hmm.
was not willing to embrace it. Okay, I was not willing to embrace it at all. I wanted to get back home, so it was really difficult at first, man. I had to start looking at the bright side, so I finally started like meeting some new places, some new people, and enjoying the local in which I was inserted. Hmm.
Nice. And
So
as a teenager, I imagine it would be tougher too, because teenagers, we are very impulsive, a lot of hormones and all of that, and we don't see like the future point of the situation. Like, oh, maybe here I'll have a better life conditions, better job opportunities. The schools maybe they could provide better education, and we just see the moment and everything that is going on right there, not the a little bit ahead after that.
exactly, that's the point. I think if it didn't happen, I would. obviously not be a teacher nowadays. I would probably
Hmm.
not be the person that I am, and I'm very proud of everything I conquest. You know, so yes, for sure, for sure, it was something important. I didn't understand at that time. Now I see how like that. I see how my mama thought about both of us. You know, both of us.
Nice.
Mhm.
And she's probably very proud as well, man.
Mhm.
That's another nice thing. Okay, let's list a few of the cultural differences you mentioned. First, uh, from your original city and in Guarujá, what are the basic difference in terms of behavior? Like people greet the same way? Are they open the same way? Or they? What did you notice?
When I moved to Guarujá, I started like living in a wood. So it is already a different place, even here inside of Guarujá, man. But I came from Francinopolis, so these things they were thoroughly different. I had to struggle a little to adapt and understand them. Um, it was really funny. I felt like I was studying Portuguese again. You understand? Like
The
with my
accent was that different.
yes, it was, man. With my and it was really funny to see my friends trying to teach me the things. You know what mopa means, you know, or
Was like a
you know
dialect.
exactly. You know what malua means, you know, this type of things. So it was funny. It was really funny, man. These things, um, safety, the way that people interact. As I lived in a small city, everybody like knew one another, man.
Ah,
So
you're walking the street, you see like afternoon, afternoon.
exactly. And I live in the type of place that you are not only by your name, but the name of your father, the name of your mother, you know,
Ah,
your grandmother. So look, my father, he was a very famous guy at the city because he was friends with everybody. So every place I go, they were like, oh, that's not that one. That's the son of Edinaldo, you know. That's Edinaldo's son.
okay.
That's Edinaldinho or something like this. It was it was pretty funny. Then I didn't have to worry about the strengthening bones because the bones were already there. They were inherited from my
Ah,
parents, you know.
makes
And
sense.
here I had to restart it. Safety is actually different, so I couldn't go out really often because I didn't know the place. It is a cosmopolitan city, so depending on the airport, it is extremely crowded. For example, the end of the year, man, São Paulo really just moved to Guarujá. You understand? So you
Uh-huh,
cannot go
definitely.
outside easily. It's not
Yeah.
a good place
Yeah.
to kids be outside. You understand, Mike?
Yeah, it's
Uh,
like I mentioned to you, Campineiros, people from Campinas, they normally go to Caraguatatuba and Ubatuba. This is the version of people from São Paulo going to Guarujá.
and that's exactly the same idea. Understand? And something, man, something really interesting is the fact that people, when they live into this type of place, they usually start to get, how can I say this, way more autonomous earlier. You
Mhm.
understand?
Mhm.
Because you, as a kid, you gotta like see your mama, see your father leaving home like really early to go to work. Um, here in the coast, the cities they connected. So it is really something easy to see people that live in Guarujá moving to Santos every day to work. So it takes a lot of time. So people to see their family, it's something hard. Usually at the end of the day for a short period of time. So kids, they gotta learn how to care about themselves really early. And this was actually something I had to do, you know. And I learned with the rest of the kids I was around. Man, this is something interesting about.
Ah,
Mhm,
nice.
mhm.
So they will probably, I don't know, was there any moment that they said something like, "What, you do this there?" No, no, no. here we do like this. For example, you don't cook your own food. What do you mean? Like,
Yes, this was the type I was into, you know. People are really supportive into this stuff. You understand? I could get help from my cousin to actually learn about how to do every single thing. You know, like for example, cooking, getting myself ready to school. So I had to learn about how to be by my own since I was like a little kid. You understand?
so you became a functional adult as a kid,
As a
basically.
kid.
Okay,
Exactly.
cool.
Mhm.
All right,
That's all.
and
Mhm.
when did you notice that the city had grown in you, man? Like, say, oh my God, I love this place. Was there a
Yeah,
moment that you say, oh my God, this is it? I'm home now.
it took a while. When I got to Guarujá, I started studying here, but I noticed that the school in which I was studying was not that good. You understand? That's also a problem from the city. And then my mama like transferred me to the neighboring city, Santos, in which I started
Okay.
studying. And then I had to commute from Guarujá to Santos. This was the moment I started notice like, oh, okay, that's the place where I live because I would go through the whole city to actually get to the school, man. This was the moment I started, oh, okay, this is actually a good place. Sunny, you know, the air is fresh. I started like meeting people who are actually like similar to me. Living in Santos means you live with people from São Vicente, Praia Grande, Guarujá, and they are all
Hmm.
different. And different people, like, they can understand different people. So this is
Hmm.
actually the point, honest. I started building some stronger friendships, and some of my best friends, they come from this era, you know? So this they started taking me to places, for example, as I said, the beach. We started practicing the sports together. uh, we started like going out during the weekend to enjoy the moment we were living. So this was when I started the city was growing. I started noticing the city was growing inside of me, man. This was the moment. Understand?
So you stopped feeling like a tourist, started to feel like a Caiçara yourself.
Exactly, because I started surrounding me by the Caiçara people. Understand? This was the moment.
Oh,
Hmm.
by the way, put in the no, they will probably Google it, so it's gonna be pointless. You were telling me before that the word Caiçara comes from Tupi Guarani, right?
Yes, exactly. The word Caiçara comes from Tupi Guarani. It means something like nature observer or sound. It probably comes from the relationship that people who live into this type of place have with the nature. You understand?
Hmm.
So it tells a lot about the people who actually live here, who's always in contact with the beach, with the surroundings. You understand? So this is all about the relaxing moments that these people have after all this overwhelming, how can I say, this overwhelming week. You understand? Like
Hmm.
I already told you, it's not easy to live in a place and to commute to another one to work. So at the end of the day, we just want to relax on the shore. Mhm.
Yeah, and
Yes.
it makes a lot of sense. Did you notice this sort of respect from people that are locals that you don't see from tourists, for example?
Yes, of course, man, of course. You know, uh, people who live in Guarujá, they really understand the meaning of the beach and its importance, in terms of what it represents for the nature, in terms of what it represents commercially. You understand?
Hmm.
Because many people who actually live here in the city, they actually they get their bread from the beach. You understand?
Hmm.
So it is something really important. You're not gonna see, for example, a native person throwing trash on the beach, and if you do, there will probably be someone correcting, you know, no, you should not be doing this. And kids, they are taught to take care of the city since they were like born. You understand? Uh,
Nice.
it's something really interesting. And tourists, they here for no temporary moment, so they don't really understand. Man, you should see the view like after the New Year celebration. The beach gets terrible. It
Oh,
smells. It is full of trash. The last year we got problems with a disease that was spread through the whole city because of the amount of people that actually came to the coast, and we couldn't handle the 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 way that they behave inside the city. The traffic, it gets jammed all the time. Man, I
oh
saw a
boy.
car. I saw a car in a bike lane, man. The last New Year, and that's something pretty common to see. People arguing all the time in the traffic because of tourist people. They don't usually respect the locals. That's
No, this was
problem.
probably somebody from Campinas. So we have the worst drivers, man. Damn.
You
And they
got
feel
this joke.
angry. They feel angry if you don't let them cut you off in the line. You know the. Boy. All right.
Man.
Use this time now before
Mhm.
we move on to another thing here. But what are the worst things that tourists do? And don't do it as a tourist. You
Mhm.
know.
Man, I already mentioned the traffic and the
Okay,
trash.
litter. Stop
Mhm.
littering. Okay.
And another thing, please don't visit the supermarket with underwears. Okay, this is weird, guys. This is extremely weird. We go to the supermarket, we see like a bunch of people like wearing underwears in the end of the year, man. That's extremely weird, We don't
Even
find it
if you are
funny.
extremely attractive, that could be distractive and could put married men and women in a awkward position. Okay, so
Yeah, for
dress
sure.
up.
Dress up, please. Dress up. Okay, if you go like if you want a beach, that's okay, that's fine. But if you leave the
Yeah.
beach, please get some clothes. Don't walk
People
around
imagine
naked. That's not
they're in
interesting.
a they're in a club. You're like, you know.
Yeah, you in a club, please. You're not. So get
I'm
dressed.
laughing now. I imagine the guy going like to Itaú Personalité just with the
And
but I am at
yes,
the beach, am I not? You know, like this.
I got a friend who actually works in the bank, and he said that on the other day, like it happened a few weeks ago. It was it was on the end of the year. He said a guy got into the bank only with an underwear and a big sound box. A big sound box. He was on trunk and a big sound box, and he was bumping some funk music, man, and that's something that happens commonly in the end of the year. The city gets extremely noisy.
um,
Uh,
okay,
and
so
mhm,
would you say it looks paradoxical in a way, but for example, a lot of the local business they rely on tourism, to thrive. But at the same time, I imagine there is this feeling like, oh, come on, come here, enjoy this beautiful place, but respect this beautiful place.
mhm.
Uh, did you feel something like this, man, when you first moved, like from the
Uh,
locals?
Man, I didn't, because as I said, I just started like noticing that the city was growing inside of me when I started living with Caiçara people. When I
Hmm.
moved to Guarujá, I lived in a community that was basically formed by people who came from the Northeast. Uh,
Ah, okay.
exactly. The name of the place is Vila Baiana, Baiana Village or something.
Yeah.
So you already understand. You already understand like how it
You were like
felt.
in a bubble in a way. Yeah.
Exactly, not local. So I moved to Guarujá, but I was not really into Guarujá because I was surrounded by these people who came from the same place as me. You understand? I could even see people from the same city. Like, oh, what you doing here? Oh, the same city. You understand?
Damn. Okay. That
Mm-hmm.
so this is something that a lot of students they have a problem. They stay a while in a foreign country and they don't get themselves immersed in the culture. So sometimes my English hasn't improved that much because they were surrounded by Brazilians speaking Portuguese. So you need to dive in the culture, right? To really
Yes.
be open to it.
That's a problem. You gotta risk. You gotta be risky. There's no way to learn if you're not, you know? For example, I always tell my students, yo, furthermore, formulate complete phrases. You gotta risk. And if you commit a mistake, it's just perfect. Okay? It's just great. I don't think that you could be right in any other moment by being wrong for that class. You understand? If
Yeah.
you're wrong in an English class, that's great. It probably means you're right because the next time you're gonna try it again, you will probably be already aware of your mistake and gonna be right. You understand? You're gonna correct it. So it's just great. You have you have to try. You have to risk. You have to be willing to expose yourself into a situation that, let's be honest, might not be that comfortable at first. You
Okay.
understand? So,
All right. Now we're gonna do a little bit of like a touristic guide for people that are interested about Guarujá. I want to know a little bit more. So, what as a local now, and this is something that is nice to do because when we go to beaches and coast cities, you have the common landmarks that everybody goes that you will see on Google. But you also have the nice places that only the locals know that you can have a nicer experience. Like I had this student, Vanessa. She was from Ubatuba, and I remember not this last time, the time before that I went there. I said, "Okay, do you know some nice places to go? Like a place that I could go hiking, that like trails that are not dangerous, and a place that I could have a nice white sand beach, calm, without a lot of noise, people, and I don't know this type of stuff, without the fuzz." And then she recommended two beaches that I went there, and I really really liked. So where should people go to have a calm, nice time there?
my God, let me tell you something. Eden Beach. Eden
Like
Beach
the
is,
name already.
yes, man, it is just perfect. That's the best beach ever. It is extremely distant from the city. That's why people do not visit it really often. Even the native people from Guarujá don't actually go there like really, really often. You understand? Because it's distant. It is hard to get to the place because you have to go up on a huge hill. And when I say huge, it is extremely huge, man. It might take, I don't know, a couple minutes, like 30 minutes if you go by a car to actually climb it, you
Damn.
understand? So yes, it's huge, man. It is really, really huge. 30 minutes now, 20 minutes, you know?
Okay. So
And
don't
as
go if it's raining.
nah, not really. Don't, man. And don't go if it is night because it is also dangerous. You understand?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
But go during the morning, go during the afternoon. It is just perfect. And the point is, go there. It is distant, so it is the perfect place if you want to have a particular moment with the person you like, family, friends, or even your love. As it is distant, people don't visit really often, so there's no pollution. The water is crystal clean. You can see the
Nice.
shore when you get inside, man. It is small. That's a problem from the beach, but it's just great because you feel like you are in a private place. You understand?
Uh-huh.
It feels like the beach is yours. The beach is yours. That's the point, man. So it is just great. The view is amazing. As you get at the top of the mountain, you have to go down. You can take like some pictures from above. It just feel amazing. If you want to post
Nice.
something in your Instagram, you understand? So
Eden Beach. Nice.
yes, exactly. It's
Oh
just amazing.
man, I just noticed maybe we have ruined the whole thing because we told this in a live podcast. So if people go there and okay, don't go to this place. I heard there is like a sharks there.
Yeah, forget about. Okay, the last time a tourist visit this place, he got robbed by I don't know 1,000 bandits. Okay, a group of 1,000 bandits.
Okay.
So please
Yeah.
don't go. They come in a group,
Yeah.
you can't do anything. They just get your phone and you gotta get back home. You understand?
Exactly. No, yeah, it sucks. Don't go there. By the way,
Yes.
aha, I remembered. If you're watching this in a class, guys, put in the chat which school are you from, and do us a solid. If you are watching this in a class, get your phone and enter in this chat live on your phone too, because it's gonna count as a view and you help the channel to grow. Do it. Okay, right now. Stop everything you're doing and do it. Get your phone, click there in this broadcast live and go there. Okay, and now okay, what do you like doing in your free time, and what are the things that people can find in Guarujá that can enjoy there?
Sports outside, sports that you can actually practice outside, for example, basketball, volleyball mainly, surfing. These are some of the things I'm into. When I'm not studying, when I'm not teaching, you will probably find me in the court or in a beach trying to learn how to surf. That's something I've been doing recently. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's nice. And
So,
okay, I mentioned to you before, and I it looks really badass. It looks really cool. You know, last time I was at the beach, I saw like a surf instructor teaching some people. And but I the only experience I really have is with that you know, family father bodyboard thing, or for kids. That's not really surfing. You're okay, you not the same. So can you give us some hints? You told me that you are starting to learn, and what should people expect, and is it hard, and how is the process to from starting the first steps and then starting to get a few waves, and you know.
I got it. To be honest, I will compare with the rest of the sports I practice.
Okay.
I play basketball really well. I play volleyball really well. And I had to struggle a lot to go through these sports like while learning because it was extremely difficult for me to understand the logic and also the practice. I had to be very athletic for this. And I don't think that's the same case with surf, you know? It doesn't feel like I'm struggling. I'm just having a relaxing moment. I've been taking classes with my friend who actually is a surf teacher, and it feels just good. So don't be afraid. The best thing about like surfing is that you cannot get hurt really often. You in the water, man. So falling is not a problem. You understand? So you just feel really relaxing. Even though you're failing, it feels really relaxing because you're in the water. You understand? It's like you're in the pool all the time. Got my point?
Man, I imagine the feeling must be amazing when you first do take your first wave standing, and then you do like that, I don't know, 180 degrees turn. Like, wow, surreal actually. It looks
I
nice.
feel really amazing. I haven't had this experience yet, but there's something important. You gotta be resilient because it is extremely hard to keep the balance upon the board. Because as I said, I had to struggle into these sports, and sometimes it was not like comfortable. But with surf, it is different because it feels relaxing all the time. I'm into the water, but you have to be resilient because it is not easy. It is not really easy. Mhm. I think that's the biggest problem, you know? You gotta be resilient. That's not the same with the sports I practiced before, like volleyball and basketball. It was, how can I say this? It was kind of a very balanced development through the sport. So that's not the same with surf, and it might be even a little frustrating sometimes.
Yeah, I loved that you said yet. Okay, there's a lot in the chat. Okay. All right, let's start with here. Now I'm proud of working by your side every day. That was Kaveh. Okay.
Oh, thanks,
Guys,
man.
I'm sorry. It took me too long to start answering you. The your questions were not showing up here, but now it is. Noel, tell us about your interview day at times. Oh, okay, Kaveh is asking you that.
I got it. My interview on times, the first interview I had, I was extremely nervous. You understand? Because first, I saw the name from Cave as my interviewer, and I noticed, oh, okay, this guy might probably not be proceeding. So the accent
Uh-huh.
is going to be different. You understand? So I was fearful about.
Mhm.
So I was like, will I really get it? But yes, Caveri is really a nice guy. Like I felt comfortable through the whole experience, the whole interview. So it was just great. Just great. For sure.
Nice.
Mhm.
Yeah, and you guys are doing a nice job. By the way, congratulations. Bruna just mentioned here. Yeah, you were the best teacher last month, man. Congrats.
Thanks, guys. That's the result from our quality effort, you know. So I could not be the best teacher for sure if I didn't get some hints from the rest of my colleagues. You understand? So yes,
Nice.
thanks for this.
Nice.
For sure.
No, congrats, man. And oh, Eurimar is asking here, do you like to play beach volleyball? You mentioned yes, but do you also play like it's like the foot volley, something like that? The Edmundo and Romário style, they love that thing.
Look, football is really a thing here on the coast, but I'm sorry, I actually don't, man. I actually don't. I play beach volley, I play court volleyball, but I've never tried. To be honest, there's something I gotta do. Try to play some foot volleyball.
Yeah,
You
but
understand?
get the
Mhm.
hang of the surfing thing first, and then you move there. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so I gotta take things easy. Mhm.
Okay, a good one from Marcel here. What are the key traditions that define Caiçara culture? You mentioned something about the respect to nature, this busy routine about commuting to other city to works. Are there others now that you notice?
Yes, man. A lot of people take their life from the beach. You understand, as I said. So being respectful is really a thing. There is also this thing with the food, the local food that's basically based on fishery. You understand? Um, I live by the side of the largest port in America, South America. So look, there are moments that the place smells like coffee. You understand? Sweet coffee. It is just amazing, man. There are moments.
Damn, that looks nice.
Yes, exactly. Uh-huh. That's something interesting about it. There are days if it smells like fish. That's a problem.
Yeah.
Because that
From 8 to 80, like
Mhm. So there's not something really interesting about. So what I want to say with this is that if you go along the coast, you're gonna find many different restaurants in which their specialty is the fishery, man. Is fishery. That's
nice.
something interesting about. Something really interesting about the coast culture. Mhm.
You mentioned that a lot of people they have this fishing background. I've heard. I want to know your perspective. Are fishermen people, like fishermen in general, are they superstitious, or did you notice something like this compared to the city you came from?
Yes, they are extremely superstitious. Actually, the place where I lived into was already extremely superstitious, so I was used to it, man. And we can tell it is still being a superstitious place the same way, man. Exactly
That's
the same
nice.
way. So people got, for example, rituals before like before sailing, you understand? People got rituals before, for example, preparing the fish. So it is something interesting about, something really interesting about. Just the same
Nice.
way.
That's
Mhm.
okay. Oh, shout out to you, Fabin. Shout out to you, Rimar, Bruna, Sandra. Okay, for how long have you lived in Guarujá? I was born in Parnaíba, Fabin said here. So for how long have you been living there?
I've been living in Guarujá since I was 12, 8 years. 8 years.
8 years. Okay.
Exactly.
So
Yes.
you feel like a local already.
Yes, I do feel like a local man. I've been here in Guarujá almost the same amount of time. I was actually in Francinopolis, you understand?
Mhm.
So, yes, I'm already a
Sandra
local.
is asking here now about tracking. Are there no? Is there any tracking in Guarujá?
Mhm. Yes, there are some like pretty famous places. For example, Trilha do Conde, you understand? That's something I
Okay.
really recommend because you can get to know the natural places from Guarujá. So that's a pretty interesting one. And the best about is the fact that an easy one. You gotta be used to tracks. So if you have never been to a track before, that's only 1 kilometer. So yes, it's fine. You know, I think you
Okay,
can do this. You can
if
do
it's not a
this.
harsh terrain, I guess you can do it in a few minutes, basically.
Yes, exactly. So it's just fine. It's just fine.
Okay, nice. All right. Uh, we are already running out of time, but damn, I want to finish this last part of the conversation, making people understand how you feel when you are at the beach, man. Because the way you describe it to me, and I imagine it's the way the locals feel, is a sort of a meditation thing in a way. So why do you still go? Because my question to you was if it ever gets old, because some people say, well, if you, it's like having a swimming pool in your house or a gym and you never use it, you know, it is not quite the same, right? Living it there, it
Uh,
never
let,
gets old.
let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. People say that they can actually get tired from the beach, but I think they actually do this because of how screwed they are into their routine. You understand, Mike? So I actually think that if you can't enjoy the beach anymore, you wouldn't be able to enjoy any other place. You understand? Because usually these people are the ones that go to the beach, but they can't disconnect from, for example, their homes, their jobs, their cell phone. And that's actually what you gotta do when you're in the beach. Get away from the phone, get away from the worries, focus into the sounds from the sea. That's something just amazing. As I said, I believe that the frequency from the sound they can affect the way that you feel, you know. And I feel extremely like comfortable and just fine when I listen to the ocean. You understand? You ain't gotta do any other thing. If you got a sound box, it's cool, it's okay, but try to not use it for like a couple minutes. You're gonna understand what I mean. I was in the beach this morning. I went there just to, relax, chill a little before the interview because I was a little nervous, you understand? And I didn't even notice the time passing. I didn't even notice the time passing, and I wasn't doing anything. I was just standing there looking at the view, and I've been doing this for a couple of years, and it just feels the
It's
same.
amazing, yeah. It's
Mhm.
really relaxing. You are 100% in the present, so no anxiety, no intrusive thoughts about no, you're just there. And I guess in a way, nature doesn't judge us, so it's very comfortable to be there too.
Exactly, exactly. It is nice. And I think that the beach taught me how to be comfortable with myself. I ain't gotta be in the presence of anyone else, you know? I can just go to the beach and enjoy the thoughts I have into my mind, the smell. Man, this smell is just great. You understand? There are moments you
Nice.
can feel it salty, and that's just amazing. You can feel the salt and the water getting to your nose, man. It's just great. Really, really great. Mhm.
Nice. That's okay. So it's a way to escape from this crazy, overwhelming routine that people have. A lot of people working with technology and a stressful week, like you said before. Just a correction. I misread the question. That was a question from Simone about the tracking of It's because they're probably in a class together. Sorry, Simone. Okay.
Oh, all right.
All
Sweet.
right.
Mhm.
Yeah, and okay. Um, unfortunately, we are running out of time. So everybody would like to be at the beach right
Mhm.
now.
For
Are you
sure.
going there tonight, man, after classes?
Man,
You
look,
told me you went this morning, right?
yes, I went this morning, so I'm not visiting the beach again. But I play basketball after the classes, and the basketball court is by the side of the beach. So just go
Ah, okay.
the basketball court. So I'm gonna see it anyway. I'm gonna see it anyway. I was checking up like my window because I just gotta be aware if it's going to be raining or not. You know.
Ah, okay. No, thank you so much, man, for the chat. It's very nice, especially the aspect that as tourists, people have to be aware that they are interacting with something very precious that a lot of people depend on this place, for their lives to go on. So it's not only a matter of respect; it's a matter of a duty, as a citizen, in a way too. Final message to everyone watching us before we go.
All right, I think that I would like to tell everyone who is watching to try to notice like the small things they got in their surroundings, you know? Uh, Try to get away from every worry they have, every problem they got by reconnecting to the nature. This is something extremely important, extremely important. You ain't gotta go to the beach. Sometimes you got like, for example, this park in which you may be surrounded by trees that make you feel comfortable. So why not doing this? Why not doing this? Sometimes we get just so screwed into the routine that we can notice how important simple things are. Understand? So yes, they're bigger than we think. That's the that's what I gotta say.
Nice, no, it's amazing. And guys, thank you so much for being here with us. I noticed that a few of you enter here in the chat while you were having the class. This is amazing. Always try to do this. Now, next time we can do this at the beach. That would be like a nice thing to do.
I thought about it, okay, but I was worried. I was worried. I said, no, I'm not gonna risk. But for the next time, we can. Let's
Yes.
go.
And guys, don't forget, subscribe to the channel. This episode is going to be on Spotify tomorrow. Hope to see you next week on our next episode of Talking Times. Bye bye.